Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to explore a topic that many of you have asked about, the life and work of Ellen G. White. She was a truly influential figure in American religious history and a co-founder of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Her writings have inspired millions, and her story is a fascinating look into the religious movements of the 19th century. So, let's dive into the history and take a thoughtful look at her legacy. Ellen Harmon, later Ellen White, was born in Maine in 1827. Her life took a dramatic turn at the age of 9 when a severe head injury left her in a coma for weeks. This experience profoundly shaped her, and she later described it as a pivotal moment in her spiritual journey. In her youth, she became involved in the Millerite movement, which anticipated the second coming of Christ in the mid-1840s. When this event, known as the Great Disappointment, didn't happen as predicted, it caused a crisis of faith for many. However, for Ellen, it was the beginning of something new. Shortly after the Great Disappointment, Ellen began to have visions. Her first vision, in December 1844, was of a path for the disappointed Advent believers, leading them to a heavenly city. This marked the start of a public ministry that would span 7 decades. Alongside her husband, James White, she helped to guide and shape the emerging Sabbatarian Adventist movement. Her visions and writings covered a vast range of topics, from theology and church organization to health and education. One of Ellen White's most significant contributions was her emphasis on health and wellness. She advocated for a vegetarian diet, regular exercise, fresh air, and abstinence from alcohol and tobacco. These ideas were quite progressive for her time. She and her husband were instrumental in establishing the Western Health Reform Institute in Battle Creek, Michigan, which later became the world-famous Battle Creek Sanitarium. This focus on holistic health, caring for the mind, body, and spirit, became a central pillar of the Seventh-day Adventist identity and continues to influence health movements today. Now, any historical figure who achieves such prominence will naturally be the subject of scholarly discussion and debate, and Ellen White is no exception. Over the years, researchers have carefully studied her life and writings. One area of frequent discussion is the literary sources she used. Historians have pointed out that her writings often show parallels with other contemporary authors. This has led to a conversation about the nature of her inspiration. For example, her book, The Great Controversy, which details the history of Christianity, has been compared to the works of other 19th century historians. Some scholars see this as evidence of literary borrowing, while many within her faith community view it as part of her divinely guided process, where she used existing historical information to frame her spiritual insights. This discussion highlights the complex relationship between inspiration, research, and writing, and it's a conversation that continues among theologians and historians today. It's a reminder that understanding historical figures requires us to look at them from multiple angles. Another point of discussion revolves around the development of her theological ideas. Like any thinker, her understanding evolved over her long ministry. Some early statements were later clarified or expanded upon in her subsequent writings. This has led some to question the consistency of her teachings. However, others see this as a natural process of growth and deeper understanding, common to many spiritual leaders who refine their message over a lifetime of study and reflection. These discussions encourage a deeper and more nuanced reading of her extensive body of work. It's also important to consider the historical context in which Ellen White lived. The 19th century was a time of immense social and religious change in America. Movements for health reform, education, and social justice were gaining momentum. Ellen White's work was very much a product of its time, engaging with the big questions and ideas of her era. Understanding this context helps us appreciate the significance of her contributions. She wasn't just a religious figure. She was a social reformer who advocated for education and founded schools and colleges. The legacy of Ellen White is complex and multifaceted. To her followers, she is a cherished prophetic voice whose writings provide guidance and inspiration. The Seventh-day Adventist Church, which she helped establish, has grown into a global denomination with millions of members, known for its worldwide network of hospitals, schools, and humanitarian organizations. Her influence is undeniable. For historians and scholars, she is a fascinating subject of study, a powerful woman who, against many odds, became a leading voice in a major religious movement. The discussions surrounding her life and work are part of a healthy and necessary process of historical inquiry. By examining her writings, her influence, and the debates she inspires, we gain a richer understanding of American religious history and the enduring human quest for meaning and purpose. Thank you so much for joining me for this thoughtful exploration. It's so important to approach historical figures with curiosity and a desire to understand them in their full context. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue the conversation respectfully. Until next time, take care.